Hi, it's Paris from Epic Reviews, and just before going out on a week-long trip, I got the e-reader of my dreams. It's the Amazon Kindle Paperwhite. I've been looking at this for months, finally got one, so I'm so happy. I've downloaded a couple things on it, tried it out, works just as well as I was hoping it would. So I'm going to cover some of the things that I really like about this. I'm going to compare it to the Kindle that we have from before, the old third generation Kindle, the one that actually had the buttons and the keyboard down at the bottom, and I'll explain why this may or may not be a really good Father's Day gift. So this Kindle Paperwhite is about $120. It's the one that they put ads on, as you can see. I sort of thought they would all be books and newspaper type ads, but no, there's been Clorox wipes and different things. I guess they look at what you're reading and somehow based on that they try to think what you might like to buy. So there are ads. You can pay $20 more and get the version that doesn't have ads. This is also the Wi-Fi only. They make a 3G version that uses what Amazon calls WhisperNet, which basically lets you download books wherever you are, where there's cell phone service. They use the data network of the cell phone system to deliver your books. But I went with the least expensive model, but it has all the features I really want. So why is the Kindle Paperwhite so great? There are several really great features about it, but the main one is that it has a glow to it, so you don't need another light to read in a dark room. Let me shut the computer lid here, turn off the overhead light, and show you how that works. There's actually enough light bouncing off the little view screen here of the camcorder to illuminate it, but let me hit the power button here, and I gotta swipe it so they make sure I see the ad. So I've got this about halfway up on the brightness meter. They recommend lowering it in very dark rooms, and if there's some ambient light you can actually make it brighter to sort of fill in the background, but it's very easy to change. I'll go to home. Nice thing about this is it has a touch screen. You don't need to use the little arrows and buttons on that keyboard of the old style one. The little light bulb right here, and you can just light it up for bright. That is full bright, and down, 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 down to, I don't know if that's no light at all. Almost seems like there's a little something there, but I had it about in the middle, maybe a little higher than that. There we go. So the other side of the equation of it having a lighted screen so that you can read it in a dark room is that it shouldn't be too bright, because you don't want to disturb the person who may already be asleep next to you if you have the lights out in the room. So I just wanted to give you some idea here. If I've got it about reading distance from my face, you can see it doesn't put out a whole lot of light. It doesn't shine out a whole lot of light. And it's fairly directional, so long as I've got it in front of my face, shouldn't be bothering anyone else in the room. And another easy on the eyes, great feature, especially for someone with a little bit older eyes, is the ease that you can change the font size. Of course, you could do that on the other Kindle, but the buttons were so small on it, sometimes you couldn't see the buttons to find your way through to increase the font size without having to get out some reading glasses. But on this, it's very easy. If you're in a book, you go up to the top, and you've got your font selector right here, and it's very clear. Larger, largest. Boy, that would be a reading test for me. And somewhere, around here looks good to me. It's set. Now, if you've read hundreds and hundreds of books on the older style Kindle with the buttons on the side for next page and back page, you may already have built in the muscle memory to automatically change pages that way. It's not going to work with the new one because there are no buttons. There's only one button really. It's the power button, the one that puts it to sleep down here at the bottom. And next to that is the port to plug it in and charge it, and that's it. Everything else is on the touch screen. I thought I might have a little bit of a hard time getting used to that because I've been using the other Kindle for quite a while, but no, it's actually pretty easy. They put zones on the sides where if you tap in the zone, it'll back page or front page. Tap near the top brings up the menu. But you can also swipe it. You can just take your finger and flick it to the next page. Or you can do what they suggest and tap in the zone and it goes to the next page. Tap here, goes back, and back. So it's very intuitive. If you use a phone, an iPad, anything like that, you'll have no problem getting used to this. And I did read the instructions. This is it for instructions that came with it. Of course, on the e-reader itself, there's a whole book about how to use the Kindle. I haven't got around to that yet, but I was really surprised to find, I just showed you about changing the font and how easy it is, but it's actually easier than that and even more intuitive. I kind of found this just by chance. I just did the little pinch and zoom, and it knows right away what you want. It's smart. So I like devices that are smart. but not those that go around acting like they're smarter than you. In any case, a couple things I have to tell you about. One is, if you want to see the specs on this, I'll put a link down below. And one thing you need to be alerted to before buying it is they don't ship it with, they ship it with a cord that you can plug it into the computer to charge it, but they don't ship it with a piece. Looks a little different than this for the Kindle, but this basic idea that you can plug the supplied cord into and plug it into the wall. They don't include that, I think, because they figure you probably already have those lying around. People have so much in the way of electronics now to charge their phone, to charge their old Kindle, their different Android tablet or something, that you probably got one of these. But if you don't, if this is your first foray into higher tech, you'll be offered a chance to buy one of these guys at half price when you get your Kindle Paperwhite. So if you're not sure whether you got something that'll work for this or not, it's a pretty good deal. It ends up being 10 bucks to buy the little transformer piece, so go ahead and get one when you order it. If you miss the chance and you don't have it, I'll put a link down below so you can go back and order that if you need one. Now let me compare it to what has been a very good e-reader, but man, it just seems so old now compared to this guy. Let me get it turned on. We got all kinds of buttons and switches and whatnot on this, and it's so laggy. Let me bring it a little closer and show you the screens in comparison. Okay, the screens are actually about the same size, 6 inches diagonal, but just take a look at that and think which one is easier to read, right? There's really no comparison. So you can see how much I love this device, but wait, there's more. You might expect with the light, the feature of it having the light, that would really reduce the battery life, make it more like a tablet perhaps. But no, they've done it really well. And with the anticipated, you using it half hour a day, it's supposed to last 2 months. There's no light sensor in it, so the light doesn't dim or change. Whatever you set it to, that's where it stays. Now, of course, if you hit the button and put it in sleep mode, it doesn't have the light on. But all the rest of the time, it has the light, and it lasts 2 months. Twice as long as this guy without any light. So if I seem effusive in my praise for this, I'm taking it on a trip, and it'll come down to seeing how it really works in the real world. I've actually got a walking tour of New York on here, one of the things I'm going to use, and I've got a paperback version of something similar, so I'm going to actually compare them. Well, we're up there in New York, and I have some other reading I have to get done next week, so I'm going to put that on this before we leave, and then I will try it out in a variety of environments, and I'll report back and let you know how in the real world it actually does work, but I have high expectations for it. So at the beginning of this video, I mentioned this may be a great Father's Day gift, or it may be a terrible Father's Day gift, and really what it comes down to, it's not the device, it's your father. I would love to give one of these to my father. He is a voracious reader. He especially likes war history books, and he orders them all the time from catalogs and gets them. And he has paperbacks, war history paperbacks, stacked up and in boxes all over the place because he goes through probably one every 2 days. So this would be the perfect thing for him, but I cannot get him to try something like this. He just has in his mind that, oh, who wants to read a book on an electronic thing? I like the paper and the ink and the whole thing. But then he ends up with the mountains of books. But he's my dad, so what can I do? If I were to give him this as a Father's Day gift, a birthday present, he would never use it. I know that. You know, we tell him, Dad, try out the Kindle. It's really not so bad. But no. But if your father owns a digital camera, even if he needs your help to transfer the photos over to the computer, if your father has a Netflix subscription, even if he only does the DVDs because he's not so sure about that streaming thing, or if your father's actually ordered something online, then they might be ready for the Kindle. And this is actually such a nice way so that they don't have to keep driving to the bookstore, so that they don't have to order from catalogs where they're just making a guess as to whether they're going to like the book or not. So if your father's an avid reader and doesn't think that doing one's reading on a screen is a traitorous betrayal of the entire history of reading, then I think your father would really love a Kindle Paperwhite. I love the Kindle Paperwhite, and I'll put a link below. Check out the reviews. Almost everybody who gets one of these really loves them.